Hi, hello everybody. Welcome back to PIL X. Today's match is the last match of this weekend, and it is going to be BACU versus HBG. This is also, I believe, the last match of the orange bracket or the pink bracket. What is it called this time? The
I think
magenta
it's the
bracket.
magenta
Let's go with the
bracket,
magenta
maybe
bracket.
the vermilion. Maybe it's maize
It
this
might be
time.
maize. Could be maize bracket. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those for sure. Today's match is BACU versus HBG. BACU, the team a lot of people probably know is the Dubness team, mostly from live, from what I've heard, and from what the roster has usually been, mostly a team made up of guys he plays with on live, and
Yeah.
same actually does go for HBG as well.
Yeah.
It's Osprey and a lot of his guys from live. So both of these guys have a lot of experience with, I'd say, this particular style of gameplay, and they have made it through all the way to the point where they've played, I think, at least half a dozen matches. Preseason and regular, so I mean they definitely have the teams and the team play to make this a very interesting match. Let's go right on into the rosters. Oh, by the way, I'm your caster Gelos, and joined by my co-cast Zangief.
Yo, what's good? We backs in the saddle for one more time. This is the last
Wow.
cast that I'm doing. I'm going on
Yeah.
vacay after this.
Very unfortunate. He's not going to be there for the next cast next weekend,
Dang.
unless of course he
I could get on my phone. I'll
he's
pay
gonna
99 cents for TeamSpeak.
so he might have a scuffed mic next time around. Might be a fun time. We'll see what happens.
See what happens.
All right, so for the back, you guys, we've got you got people like Dubness, Asum. You know what? Actually, we do have a few of these names actually in already on the script. Let me read off and who's actually here. Halot, Dubness, Dropperix, Asum, Nyawe, Silkosh, Pegasus, and
You got it. Yeah, keep it up. You got it.
Doppelmatu.
Hey, you got it.
Of course
you got
I got
it exactly on the money.
First
That's
try.
awesome.
First try.
That's awesome. It's crazy.
And then for the HBG guys, we have Mr. Tomahawk, Luxus, Mid, Strokey, Addypick, Ron, Trades, TCT, Chakasimo, there we go, sorry, Osprey, Elawan, Dark Riosos, and Remington. Obviously, one extra person on there, so I'm just waiting for the script to get updated with who actually is playing and who's being subbed out. But a good roster either way, because we have seen from the HBG guys, obviously Osprey's going to be there, obviously Addypick's going to be there. Osprey being the heavy fragger, and Addypick also having some experience in this particular format, along with a lot of the other guys there who have been playing in a lot of these matches lately. For the back, you guys, obviously Dubness and obviously Halot. Great first two there. Asum as well. I believe he was. I think we've seen him quite a few times as well.
We saw
Yahweh
him,
too.
Yeah, we saw Asum on. It was on Aiken Southern. He plays LA.
Yes.
He had that he had a
right.
really good game. That was against Try in that one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, he had a really good game. He was very important for that match, so it's good to see him returning here.
Yeah.
However, I will say, because he was playing LA on that map you're talking about, the map today, a little less emphasis on LA play, I'd say. They do have a role to play, but it's not quite the cover at literally every angle kind of.
Yeah, more of an annoyance, more of a deterrence
right,
kind
a huge
of role
harasser kind of play. Waterson's Redemption is the map we're playing today. This is the map with 4 points, and you do have to cap at least 3 to actually start your flip towards your side. We've seen a lot of really interesting stuff on this map. Just Friday, we even saw some really fun stuff coming out of this one. So this map has been really enjoyable to watch. I cannot wait for both of these teams to show kind of what they want to do with this map. HBG has already played on this one quite a few times. I haven't seen BACU come to Waterson's yet, so that's what I'm more interested in, to see what BACU brings to the table for this particular map. And it's so far it's a back and forth kind of map. There's a lot of things to talk about. To make that easier, let's go right into the main screen here. let them know that the cast is ready real quick. And we can talk about how this map is structured. So let's actually start with how the spawns work. So both teams get a Sunday on both sides of Watersons. Oh, hold on one second, we're getting that audio glitch. Let me just give that one moment while my obs cam goes away. But while it's doing that, I can explain this. So I'm sorry, the spawns are going to be on that north western side as well as the southwestern side. Both sides get a bus. They have to be on the opposite angles of the wall. So go ahead and back up there. And you are not allowed to cross that wall as well. So that means that looks like we've got HBG starting on this side. So they're going to have a little bit of a faster run over to the C point, right? And on the other side, HBG starts with their bus on this side, which means they don't have the faster access over to D point. They get a little bit more of a choke there where they have to get into it. So it's a little bit of a balancer there. Where one side can get a little bit quicker into the D point, the other side mostly gets uncontested control into the C point. C point can play as a very, very good role of like a launch point to get to the rest of these points. But what we saw from a team like, let's say, Try on Friday was they actually focused hard on the DAB push, the DAB push, you could call it. And really, that was where their kind of wheelhouse was. Interested to see what these two teams, and in fact, I think that was even against the HBG team. So it's very interested to see what both of these teams are going to be bringing to the table to fight each other on this one. That dab push was a very effective strategy on that particular match. But this time around, HBG, what I think I've seen a lot of times with HBG is they do like to take the C point. They are very much a kind of like a fortress hold on that C point and really, really spread from there. Sort of a team. So we'll see. We'll see if that's the way they're going to play it this time as well. As for BACU, I have no idea what they might be coming to this one with. So again, very excited to see what they might do.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of good action on Watersons in this orange, magenta, teal, turquoise, whatever you want to call it bracket.
I think it was maize.
Oh yeah, the maize, the vermilion,
yep,
the lavender bracket.
The lavender.
We've been seeing a lot of Watersons, and it's honestly been kind of fun, just because, you know, just because this is considered the other bracket doesn't mean that it's not a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And Watersons has definitely been really fun to watch,
yep.
Especially the HBG. We've seen them on this map twice. We've casted them on here.
Yep.
So this is going to be the third time we'll see HBG here. They're 1-1 in the times we've casted them on.
All right,
here,
boys,
so
we're going to start this tick on 0, this tick on 0.
And I think they'll be ready for this. BACU, obviously, the team of BACU, and I fuck you, and they've been on a tear in this tournament.
Sorry, what was that team?
The combined teams of BACU and I fuck you.
Oh, that's the one. Thank you. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, they've been on a tear. So we're gonna see if HBG, the French of Cobalt, can stop their rampage through this tournament. But I went on to Google because I wanted to give a little bit of good luck to both teams. So hopefully this works.
Bonne chance aux deux équipes.
That's good luck to both teams in French. I'm sure. I want everyone to have a good, clean match. I want to see good action.
4, 3.
So the predictions
2,
have opened for anyone that wants to do a little
start.
betting. Go ahead and get your bets in as to who might win this one. Again, this is Waterson, so anything could really happen.
HBG going to C, which we've seen them do a lot. Oh my!
Yep. What was that? I just heard a. Was that a
frag grenade? Silkosh was there as a bolt on the stairs. Somebody threw a perfect frag and killed him.
Oh my god!
Right from the start. Okay,
that's actually quite impressive. I was gonna watch the BACU guys, but apparently HBG's got some.
Here we go. The B fight is about to start. We're gonna see Lane Smash Champion versus Lane Smash Champion here. We're gonna see Dubness. He's gonna try and push in.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any help when he gets taken down.
Yeah, I think
the revive nade coming out.
Yeah,
Keep it up, Beeps. You got it. You got it. Keep it up.
Dopulamatu.
Dopulamatu.
Thank you. That's exactly what that was actually what I was going to say next. Dopulamatu, a little bit farther behind than I think Dubness was wanting, but doesn't matter too much. He was able to help him a little bit. Now we do have Type 5 moving in. He just got a double there as he comes back around the corner, taking out both Ruan and Luxus. And he's actually going to be taking the point now. He does need to deal with Silkosh, it looks like, but he does go down instead to the LA in the back. Oh, I'm sorry, not Silkosh. The guys in the back. Silkosh was actually his teammate.
Looks like HBG coming out on top here on that big brawl on B. That was a really, really big brawl there.
Yeah, and with the reinforcements coming in, especially with that that flank by the LA, very important play.
Oh, Remington just getting out of there. He was in a bad spot.
Now he is on the A point. Let's see if
pause match. Pause match.
Pausing the match. Hold up.
They lost the boss.
We will have to repull.
Interesting.
Oof.
How'd that happen? How did that despawn actually? Because that's where they started from even.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, well.
All right, well, you know, we have a few stats we can at least look at for the moment while they're getting repulled.
Yeah, let's check the stats.
Let's just see how their openers went for each side for a second here. So for the BACU guys, for their little opener of about 2 minutes or so, they only got 11 kills. HBG came out of the gates with 18.
Players, get off of the points, please.
18 kills, almost a doubling there. Pretty nice job here on their opener, but you know, that was only 2 minutes into the game, and obviously it looked like HBG was actually getting the best of BACU right off the bat as well. So this again, this is kind of what you would say about Waterson's. You know, you might think BACU's a really strong team. They definitely are, but HBG, you know, they're coming out with a few tricks, and it seems like it's kind of working there. Like you said, they killed Silkosh apparently right off the bat. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like a perfect grenade. He was so HBG, because we've seen HBG do this a lot. They rush C very heavily at the beginning, so they pushed C. And I'm looking at Silkosh, he's all alone. And right as I'm about to say, oh, Silkosh he's the bolt. He's queuing up all of them as they're coming in. I see the grenade like blow up and he just dies. I was like, I don't know who threw that grenade, but it was so perfect. It hit him perfectly. But it was an interesting opener there. It seemed like he was really just kind of doing the reconnaissance, just, you know, queuing up people, making sure that his team knew where they were, and unfortunately it blew up in his face, literally and figuratively.
Quite literally, yes. All right, well, so you know, not a great start for BACU, but the thing about kind of like a staggered start like this is that BACU now, they kind of saw what the strat was for HBG on their opener, and BACU, if you didn't know this already, because they're actually a team that very quickly learns from any mistakes or from whatever strengths are coming out of the enemy team. You know, even with just 2 minutes under their belt, that actually might
go this tick on 0.
That actually might be a kind of big deal for them to.
We won't be restarting the match. We will just resume from where we are.
All right. So what we're gonna do here is it looks like nobody's going to get any more time on the point. What it is just stalled here with two points on each. B and C being for HBG and A and D being for BACU. So we're just going to see what ends up happening here. I'm sure that it's probably going to be a similar startup here where
15.
HBG is going to go straight for that C point. They got to make sure that stays. But I'm wondering if they also want to make a few people come from the other side here to try and contest that D point, because they can get some early time in there very quickly.
3, 2, 1, match start.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens now, because...
Ooh, it's a scattered start here for the BACU guys at least.
Yeah, and HBG doing the same thing that they did last time. This time we're seeing a little bit more BACU guys following Silkosh here, so they're going to probably try and cut off HBG as they push to B. Yeah, you're going to see them try and hit him on 2 different angles here.
Yeah, so this is... Oh, there he goes! Takes out Strokey with one very nice shot. Silkosh, and a double there. He gets trade as well. Can he get a third? He does!
Oh.
Beautiful by Silkosh, basically stalling the entire push over to B point.
That's
Silkosh with another one on Osprey.
This is so rough for HBG when you think about it.
He is getting some absolute revenge frags
Yeah.
right now for that immediate kill from the last opener.
Really unfortunate, and they're going to push C hard here. They are trying to knock on the doors of this fortress. I almost feel for HBG here because they started so well. Taking Silkosh out at the beginning was so big, and now that they had to restart, he didn't die, and you saw him just go crazy with the bolt.
Yeah.
And that stalled the HBG push big time.
I mean, even if Silkosh hadn't gotten those 3 picks with all headshots, the fact was he was backed up by 2 other players. They were going to come in there and try and cut off as well. So BACU knew exactly what that opener was going to look like, and they came out guns blazing for that. And here we go, already getting the C point. This could be really big early. Nope, they just lost it. Their Addypick came coming in from behind. Very good job there.
Addypick staying alive here.
Yep, and he gets all of them.
Yeah. And that's the veteran presence you get with somebody like Addypick. He's able to stay on there by himself and give his team some time to try and get back in here.
Now, one thing to note, though, is that BACU has a good chunk of time right now on that point. Yeah. They are fairly well in the lead, and I know it doesn't look like too much from the bar, but you got to remember that most of the time Watterson is going to be a very, very, kind of a chip damage style of 3 points for each side. Nobody's really going to get 4 points most of the time. Now, it looks like we do have HBG moving pretty hard into the B point. Let's see if they can clear out that bottom floor here. Looks like they have. Got some backup here from the BACU guys. Silkosh coming in. Can he get one? Technically, I think that was a teammate behind him that killed him, but I think he got a body on that guy.
Kills a kill, right?
It kills a kill. Couple more BACU guys. It looks like that one was Nyawei coming up the stairs. He does take out Addypick, but of course HBG there to reinforce it. Are we seeing a push into C point as they do that push?
It's not a big one, but they are in there. They should be. Remington's there on point, so he should be able to.
Yeah, it looks like
that flip to purple.
Yeah, it definitely looks like HBG is going to hold that one for just a moment.
So
BACU back on DNA.
Yeah, HBG was able to stabilize it a little bit by getting that B pressure, but it's still.
It is not great. Yeah, it's still definitely swayed pretty heavily, honestly, in favor of BACU right now. Again, it's mostly about just getting chip time in. You're slow, very, very slow amounts of lead gaining. And what BACU has right now is actually a decent chunk. And we're only 5 minutes into this match right now, and they've already gained quite a lot of time. Oh my God! Look at this flank coming in from BACU. They've actually taken them out from taking out the HBG team from the top floor. Stroking here, getting taken out as well. Almost losing that fight, but Type 5 actually wins that out. Osprey also going down to the LA above.
Revive going out downstairs on B though for HBG, so they've got numbers still.
Oh wow, they do. Type 5 gets one, but he goes down afterwards. The LA can't even really hold that off, and the medic's still alive. He's gonna get the entire team back up. Does seem to somehow fail to get Remington there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
That was the second time. I don't think he held the button for long enough.
Well, either way, they're on B now, but it looks like there's some pressure on C also.
Oh, Silkosh about to get another one. He does, and then he goes down right after, unfortunately. But
there were 2 BACU guys on C, but then they pushed some guys outside, and then Osprey was able to come in from behind and just clean them up. And Addypick too. So
right now what we're seeing is BACU back on B. That C pressure was enough of a distraction. Basically back a lot of the HBG guys off a bit, try and deal with that C point. Anybody that was going for a push just straight for B from their spawn, they had to instead immediately respond to that C point. So this is just that constant pressure that BACU has to keep applying onto HBG, and it's working really, really well. Look at that time board right now.
Yeah, Addypick just pushed himself alone onto B to try and give them something, because HBG's pretty much been playing on the back foot since this restart.
Oh, I think we're about to see a 4-cap, although Trait over here, what's Trait doing? I think he's the one that's on B point, isn't he? No, he's not, actually.
Uh-oh. He just got taken out.
Oh no, this is bad.
All 4 of these are able to flip to BACU.
This is really bad for HBG. If all 4 points are flipping for BACU, that is a very quick timer compared to the normal 3-point timer.
Yeah, I think there was a miscommunication.
There it is, 1 minute and 35 seconds. It is going to start neutralizing here on the C point, but again, you got to remember that every second that they get when it's 4 capped instead of just 3 capped is quite a few more seconds than it would be normal.
Permission to lose this fight is denied.
Yeah, this has definitely been rough for HBG.
Mm-hmm.
You really like how they started off that first round, and just seems like it hasn't been the same since the restart.
Right.
It's just essentially like they've had C, and it's been pretty much them trying to take B just to try and maintain some semblance of time on that counter, but it has not been going well for them now. Because BACU now they've essentially got the freedom to keep pushing into C at this point.
They've got a lot of leeway right now. They can actually do a lot of different stuff in general if they want to. And I feel like that is kind of what they're doing. They're a little split up right now, and you see a lot of people near the C area down on the south side, it looks like. And I see a couple just splitting around D and the A point there. So it's not a lot of like cohesion, it feels like. Because I think at this point they just feel like they've gotten enough time. They can kind of just do whatever they need to just sort of collapse around.
They essentially just need to keep playing it the way it is, BACU, because they have so much time now because of that 4-point cap that they can essentially just play keep away with HBG for the rest of this half and win it. But if they really want to be aggressive, they should try and get the base cap. Because it would be probably pretty difficult for HBG to get a base cap in the second half.
Yeah, and that is very, very important, because if you get a win by time on a half, you can still come to a draw on the second half. But if you get a win by cap, even if the next half wins by time, which Waterson's usually only a time win, that is still going to be a win for whoever capped the actual base. So BACU really should be focusing, because they're close enough to do it. They should be focusing on getting that full cap win on this half.
Yeah, but we are seeing we're seeing HBG
come back a little.
Close to the back there, to the back. But they get taken off of A maybe.
Yep. They've
got
an A.
Oh no,
actually.
they have A.
Yeah, they got enough
and
people
they're losing
in there.
B though, but there's only one guy there, so they could get the back, so they can get some time on the clock here. Getting D though is going to be tough, because it seems like BACU has been leaving like 1 to 2 people close to D, because we started to see HBG getting a little bit desperate. They've been trying to send a guy over to D to try and flip it, but
I'd say at this point HBG probably doesn't even want to focus D. What they want to do right now is just stop BACU from getting a win by cap, because they know that if it's a win by cap, that's probably it for them. It is just insanely hard to get a win by cap on Waterson. So they should definitely be just focusing this, because otherwise they might split too much, go towards D, and then lose C, B, and A behind them.
Yeah, and BACU is pushing super heavy on B, and
yeah, they are.
And
oh no, C points also.
HBG's they should be able to get C back, I think.
Oh no, it's
They've
not.
got numbers
there
on
it is. There it is.
They've got numbers on C. But BACU, they're gonna push really aggressively. Governess probably has them like pushing very aggressively because they're trying to get this cap. They know that they have a really big opportunity to get this.
Oh, Type 5, he does get the pick, but he goes down. But again, Haylot there to pick him back up. Pegasus coming in for reinforcements. These guys are going super aggressive here onto balcony. Oh, they do have to worry about Addypick, who's about to do a flank from Balk. There's the jump down. Coming in, taking out Pegasus, getting the damn job. Type 5 with the teammates as well. That's
that was a nice drop. They needed that, but they need to. HBG needs to act quick. They got people moving to B, so this is a smart idea. Even though they're hitting C aggressively, because they're hitting it so aggressively, they're gonna move over to B to try and pull resources off of that C. And
they have cleared C. They have cleared C as well. So now BACU, they're going to be on the respawn coming in. It looks like mostly from A point here. They're going to move over to B point, where it is actually just neutralized. I'm not sure where that guy went.
Yeah, I think it was Asim that was in there. He cleared the guy off of the point, but then he just left it. He didn't stay to fully flip it through. So HBG's going to try and push him here, and now they're going to get it. So that's actually huge that he didn't flip that for BACU. That allowed HBG to at least neutralize this timer for a little bit.
Yeah. So now we've got it back to a stalemate, and again, if BACU cannot get 4 points now, I don't think they can get the cap. So they have to not only push onto B and hold it, they got to also get C at the same time and hold that for long enough to actually get the full cap. Because right now, I think this makes it impossible for the 3-point cap to be able to actually cap it. And also, it looks like they're losing D at the same time at mid.
Yeah. There's numbers on D, though.
Oh, yeah.
BACU's got big numbers on D. So that was
yeah.
essentially just a try and make a play there.
Yep. But it looks like
BACU pushing on
HBG
the
has
B.
done exactly what they should have done, though. They've prevented the full cap on this base, so that BACU now still, they could go into a draw. HBG, this basically just means that HBG is not out of this yet. If BACU had gotten that cap in the first half, I doubt we would have been able to see a recovery.
A first half cap on Watersons is very tough to come back from. It's not impossible, but it's probably one of the most difficult scenarios to find yourself in.
I would say in this format, in this tourney specifically, that is probably the hardest kind of scenario to look at, is having to come back from a first half cap on Watersons.
Yeah. So not honestly a fantastic job by BACU, but just a good job by HBG because their backs were to the wall and they managed to just scrape by and ensure that they had a good chance in the second half to at least try and force that third half or third round. Or
it would be. I think
we
it would
don't
be
have 3 halves.
you know, the first half, second half, third
half?
quarter.
Wait, no, because it's not third round of the match. A potential a potential extra half. Let's go there.
3
so
dimes and 3 pennies.
Yeah, something around that.
Yeah. So about a minute left in this match here, and obviously, again, BACU is not going to be able to get the cap. And by the way, it looks like HBG has kind of made a bit more progress in terms of countering. So maybe they'll come into the second half with a little bit more of a refresh and some momentum even, trying to figure out how to deal with this BACU coordination that they're dealing with right now.
Yeah, it seemed like BACU took their pedal off the metal a little bit once they kind of realized that there really wasn't a possibility of them getting the full cap. I think they realized that it's just play it out because there's not much time left and they pretty much already secured this round.
Right. Here we go, about 10 seconds left here, and we'll switch it on over to the scoreboard. Just looking at the last couple of kills here for the HBG team, clearing off the BACU guys off of C, and there it goes. Let's move right on over here, and we'll move it over to the scoreboard. Take a look.
Time. All right. First half goes to NC.
So first half,
go ahead and switch.
It is a win with time for BACU. Again, that does mean that HBG is not out of this by any means. They can, if they can get a win by time on the second half, they can force it into a third, slightly less than a quarter.
An extra half.
Wait, slightly more than a quarter.
Extra half.
An extra overtime bonus.
An extra filling of PlanetSide competitive.
There we go. Thank you. Just, that's the one. So if they can get a win by time, though, that will put us into a even spot once again. Obviously, if they get a win by cap, that would be better, but again, this is Watersons. You don't really expect that to happen most of the time. So let's look at the scoreboard here, where we have, it looks like BACU coming in at 163 kills, and actually HBG also coming in at 163 kills. There were a couple of team kills on the HBG side. Obviously, I think they had literally 2, just based off the death counter there. But other than that, not too terribly bad. Both of these guys playing this very evenly in terms of kill potential. What we saw mostly was just BACU's absolute relentlessness pushing into these points. One thing I should note, though, the difference in revives given. BACU only 28. Meanwhile, HBG 64. That is a pretty sizable amount. And weirdly enough, because HBG, obviously, they didn't win this half, it just means that a lot of the times, you know, these guys, they might be dying, but when they get res, they're not really in a position to do too much more. They're not really stalling BACU nearly as much so that they can get reinforcements in and actually make the push. It's mostly just, it seemed, and this kind of did reflect from the match. We saw a lot of scattered forces there for both HBG and BACU, but I feel like HBG got a lot more punished for it than BACU did. So I think they're just getting a little bit scattered out. might be good for them to be switching here, where they're going to have potentially that whole dab area that we were talking about earlier, where it's a little bit easier to actually stay together as you push and do a couple more interesting things. Meanwhile, BACU, they're going to get the C Point Fortress that is very difficult to push into, but it's a little bit harder, I'd say, to push out from there than it is to do the dab push, where you get the bottom floor, top floor, and lots of wiggle room in between to get to B. For the BACU guys, in terms of kills, we've got Silkosh. He is actually top frag of the game. He is 26 and 17, followed very closely behind by Asim, also on the same team. So Bolter and LA both doing a phenomenal job. Obviously, the Bolter kind of expected, because he's a very good Bolter. We saw him get 3 kills right off the bat on the second opener, but these are long sidelines, so it's great to have a very good Bolter like Silkosh there, doing a really, really good job. But Asim is actually fairly surprising, because this is not exactly an LA map, but the fact that he's getting a good amount of kills means that he's playing this very well. Same goes for Mid on the other side, who also has 21 kills. I think he's 3rd in his team for top kills, so also really, really good job by him. For the heavies, it looks like most of them are doing a good job on the BACU side, save for Pegasus, who's struggling a little bit, but the rest of them all doing pretty good, and the medics also giving out lots and lots of revives, save for Halot for some reason. It seems like he might be struggling, which is kind of crazy, because he's a 6v6 regular, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. But sometimes it's hard to transition from the heavy mentality to the medic one. So I don't know what's going on with him today, but maybe it's just a bit of a slow game for him, I guess. But anyway, for the HBG side, obviously Osprey doing phenomenally well at 22 kills, but Lux is actually passing him 24 kills. And then all of the medics also doing a pretty good job. Save for, it looks like, Trait on the kill side, but he did plenty of revives, so that's good on him as well. That's really what you want to be seeing from your medics anyways, not so much about the frags. It's really about those reses, how you can keep your team alive. So really nice job here. Again, it felt like it was mostly just a split on the HBG kind of force pushing, but it's a little bit easier for them to do it, I think, from this next side. And move ourselves back over to the main camera.
So we got a couple of substitutions, three for HBG and 2 for BACU. And one of the BACU ones that I want to point out is they're bringing on Bemic. And that name might be familiar if you remember B-Way 6v16. He was on that team. He played a little bit, so he's a pretty decent heavy. So it looks like BACU wants to bring in a little bit of extra firepower for this half. I think they feel like in terms of fragging, it was pretty even. So maybe they think that bringing in a little bit more firepower on the heavies might help them out. So that should be an interesting name to look out for this one, because we've casted some BACU and I haven't seen him play in this tournament yet, personally. So that should be an interesting name to look out for.
Which player did you say?
Bemic.
Bemic, yes.
Yeah, he spent some time on the B-Way 6v6 team.
Yeah, I think I remember that name. It sounds familiar. So
I
yes,
want to say he was on the PIL roster, but I could be wrong. It was so long ago now.
Ages ago. You remember those times.
I remember that.
You remember them times.
I remember them times, but that was a long time ago now. I'm an old man.
You're 22.
Oh, yeah, I give it a take.
Okay. All right, so I think everybody is ready to go. Like I was saying before, it is just a small change in where your buses are placed. Basically, the bus that was on this side of the wall is now on this side of the wall. Same goes to the other side. So this time around, HBG, they're going to have a quicker rush to go for D, as well as a straight push over to A. And then on the other side over here, we're probably going to see BACU send quite a few people, make sure that C gets secured, and then they push from there straight into B as a kind of a launch pad, basically, which is your kind of typical strategy when it comes to this particular side. And then, of course, on this side here, you've got HBG's extra bus. Now, I don't know if they're going to do anything special like BACU did. BACU sent a couple of people down here. It was about, I think it was Silkosh and 2 others back here on this side. And what it did was it basically stopped HBG from doing any kind of push, at least on the top side, because that Silkosh presence, even if he hadn't gotten the kills, but he did, and it completely stopped him by itself. Even if he hadn't, though, it would have been enough there just to have a bolter presence. It would have backed off any players that were just going straight over to B enough. They would have had to deal with the bolter before they could move on. So it is always smart to do something like that. But again, it's not a necessity. I'm very curious to see what HBG wants to do with this side now.
Go on this tick on 0, this tick on 0. Just make sure you are in your Sunday.
So 50 seconds.
Ref asking to make sure you're in your Sunday this time around. But weirdly enough, interestingly enough actually, HBG was starting from the Sunday that despawned. I have no idea how that happened.
Little bit of realm magic at play.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is somebody going in ops cam, but they're all playing, so that's impossible.
Just some regular wackiness, you know how it is.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Good old bugs. You never know what might happen.
We have 10 seconds away, and we're gonna get this one underway.
Are we?
5,
going back
4,
for the second round.
3, 2, 1. Match start.
All right, let's see what happens here. So it looks like we got Dubness and Bemic actually on the D side. I wonder what they want to do. It looks like they're stalling too. They're sort of waiting this out for a moment. Meanwhile, the rest of the team going straight for C, and then of course HBG going for the standard. Couple of people onto D, and mostly all going to A, and then pushing over to B from there. They're gonna get a quick cap of 3 fairly early here, but still interesting to see what Dubness and Bemic are doing right now. There they are.
Now they're moving. It looks like they hesitated. They wanted to.
Well, it seems like this was the plan from the start. They stayed there for quite a long time, and now they're going straight for D. They do have to deal with people that are No, they don't, actually. I take it back.
No, they waited for HBG to push off once the cap started going through for B and everything like that. But now we're going to see Addy pick. We're going to see him start moving back.
Yep. Addy pick is already here, and it looks like he's got his medic. But Bemic is... and he goes down as well. So Dubness and Bemic holding on to D point fairly early in the game. This actually stalls the potential lead that HBG would have gotten naturally, because of course D is very easy to grab, and then A and B are a little bit easier if you are on this side, because you can just push right over to it from bottom side. No, there's a lot less cover.
Oh, look at...
Take a look at what's going on inside. It looks like they got pushed off, though, on the D point, so HBG is finally going to get their 3 points and get a little bit of chip time in on this cap. We do have one more player, I believe? One more player down here on bottom. Looks like Pegasus. He's got that suppressed gauze saw, the Greg saw, if you will. Oh, but he goes down as well. He was only able to get Osprey, but Medic's going to come pick him up now. Meanwhile, for the rest of the team, they're all pushing around on the B side. They have gotten it now, so that's going to neutralize the lead, the very, very small amount of lead that HBG currently has. And all they have to do now is get 1 point and continue to chip back into that. And then HBG could potentially lose their lead that they have. It's a very, very slight lead.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it, but it looks like BACU also brought Schwell on as well, and he's another heavy fragger, so they're definitely bringing in their big guns for this half.
Various here drops down and gets a double on the back end. Beautiful job there, but he does go down.
He survives the bolt. There's
Oh, and he gets another one.
Yeah, they were like right in front of each other. I'm surprised he didn't see him. Oh, he's surrounded.
Oh yeah, he finally goes down. A lot of picks there off bottom though, and that is since there's no medics here just yet. That does mean that a lot of BACU guys have to respawn.
Yeah, they're resecuring D, but now A is flipping over to BACU.
Yeah,
so.
this is a little bit risky for the HBG guys if they let this one go through. And
yeah, they've got big numbers pushing in, but they just got conked. So.
Oh wow, they did. Yeah. Here comes the bolts again. Oh, he gets one of the medics. The important pick right there. Oh, and there goes Silkosh, unfortunately. But I'm sorry, not Silkosh. Dubness.
Oh no, that's unfortunate for Osprey.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Osprey also going down in the back.
D is flipping, but it's... Yeah, Asim's going to get this one.
Okay.
So it looks like it's only A for HBG. They're in a rough spot.
Yeah, HBG was
they're getting D now. They're getting
a little bit of lead. But okay, if they're gonna maintain D, then that might be okay for them.
Well,
I think yeah. Right now, BACU has the lead again. They are now
very slightly
in the lead.
But it's gonna be more.
It's
It's
gonna
be more when they get
seconds,
D.
I want to say.
They're gonna get D, and that's gonna make it even harder for them.
Mid
frankly,
there, getting the pick off of Silkosh. That's a great pick for him.
There's not a lot of numbers here on A. They're in an open field fight right now, which could be a little bit risky because people can come in through the top and take the point and then pincer them.
Yeah, this is.
But they just cleaned them up. They cleaned them up.
They have Various going down on balcony, and it looks like Schwell also dead on floor. Halot going dead on floor. So yeah, they're actually got plenty of numbers. They're gonna push right in. Just like you said, and look over here at D at the same time, where it looks like BACU was getting a little greedy there, going in for the D point, trying to hold it, to just ignoring the A point, and now HBG is about to grab the D point on top of it, and they have B, so they're gonna actually get 3 points here in just a moment. It's gonna be up to BACU to make a big push into B point and neutralize this quickly. And here they go. They've already started going in. Elowan doing a little bit of damage on a Type 5. Here comes a Conk. Conk has hit 2 people, in fact. It's gotten Silkosh as well, or not Silkosh, sorry, Darkio, so. Chokasimo trying to do a little damage to Dubness behind the wall, and here comes the HBG team on the flank side.
Yeah, nice push.
Very, very good push. They're going to start getting that B point back. That's going to neutralize, but still lead going towards BACU. They do need to neutralize this little bit of chip that they've got. They got to get either D point or C point. Honestly, weirdly enough, BACU has been focusing a lot on D. Maybe it would be a good time for them to just run a couple of people over to C.
Yeah, but they're going to get A now.
Yeah.
HBG should have numbers to push A, but they're not in a strong position, so this might still flip over to BACU in time to get some timer off. Yeah, we're going to see them. They're going to try and push first floor here. Oh,
looks like BACU is getting on the B point right now. Let's go take a look on bottom. Yeah, bottom floor there is also going towards BACU. So HBG in a rough spot once again. If that goes all 4,
this is about to be 4 points.
This is really bad. There it is. So that is now BACU with 4 points, but thankfully for HBG, they did flip the D point almost immediately. So that is a very minimal amount of time that BACU is getting off of that. But of course, every second, again, every single second that BACU get. Oh! Silkosh with a bunny hopping no scope on the Osprey. That was disgusting, actually. Pegasus here with the drop down. He's gonna get 1 and 2, maybe. What? He gets 2.
I don't know what just happened there. Trait got killed, and Adipig did not turn around. Nobody must have called it.
You have to remember, the silenced Gauze-Saw is legitimately the quietest gun in the game.
Doesn't even call that out. Like,
yeah.
You gotta call that out.
Yeah, you definitely need to, but these are both still new teams to Jaeger kind of format, so I'm not gonna you know.
But that definitely hurt, because that allowed BACU to essentially establish themselves on that second floor, because then the only people alive for HBG were on the first floor. Good revive nade going out though. Only a heavy alive bullet, he gets taken out though.
Yep, he goes down. So that is still BACU with 3 points, continuing their dominant lead now in this second half. If HBG doesn't do something about this soon, it's looking very, very bad for them. They not only need 3 points, but at this point, they need to get a couple of seconds with 4 points. They need to do something here to really counter the amount of time that BACU has. Because that 4-point cap did get them a good. Not only was it the cap that gave them a couple of seconds, it was the desperation pushes that had to move over to deal with that. That also gave them extra time, because you can see here they have yet to recover fully and get 3 points. Darkioso taking out Silkosh over here on the very side angle. Big push here by the HBG guys around the bottom floor of D. They do need to make it up towards the top here, where they've got to deal with Type 5 and Schwell. Osprey here getting lots of damage on both. but not downing either one. Type 5 pushing in, no shields, goes down. Looks like it's just going to be Osprey up here on top. He's just going to be waiting this out. Schwell now just rotating around, looking for some people to kill. He doesn't want to go up there and deal with Osprey because, of course, he's got the upper ground. So that is still D point here for HBG. Silkosh out here on Stairwell.
Oh, man. 2 medics were holding A point down for HBG. Really valiant effort there, but unfortunately, it's just they had no other firepower other than 2 medics, and one of them just kept going down. So you just kind of have to keep reviving, and eventually the numbers are too much. Now they lose A, and D is flipping a little bit.
This is really bad actually, because there's a lot of BACU guys here. About 3 or maybe even 4 actually, with one around the outside. Silkosh is here too. That's a big fragger right there. This could be bad. Here's his 4-point cap. Let's see how long they can hold this. Schwell here. He's just going to be the one that's holding up top. Asum every now and again going to be harassing. Oh, and there goes C point. So that's at least flipping.
So this is what I was going to mention, was that the C area was actually completely uncontested. So with the fact that they had 4 points, they got to make a desperation play. They got to just take C and try and get it. Yeah.
Now that C point's not going.
He just got killed.
He did. That's not going to go all the way towards them. Dubness is flipping it, but that was enough of a bit of a stall there. So his team, so the HBG team rather, could hit D point with some more numbers, come back in, and they did take D point, but not enough numbers, I'd say, because it looks like we're going to have Silkosh come back in here along with Asum. They're both going to be flipping D again. Schwell also still here. They're just going back and forth. Let's go take a look at, oh, nope, actually that fight's done too, so it's only the D point again. And if you keep getting stuck on the back pedal like this, it is not a great sign. HBG about to start losing to a 4 cap.
They got A. They pushed C with numbers, so they should be able to stabilize for just a bit here, but time is running out. And as you know, time is precious on Warzone.
now having on an A.
Yeah, this
take a look
it's starting to look kind of bleak for HBG right now, but they're not stopping. They're going to keep trying here.
Yeah, they're doing their best. But man, is BACU's absolute unrelenting pushes just showing its power here. So we do still see C in favor of HBG. Oh, Bemek here with a nice combo and a knife. And that's actually going to put C back in favor of BACU, but HBG has returned in force back over to D point. Silkosh looks like he's gotten a couple picks there off the backside. And that also means that D point is once again in BACU's favor. 15 seconds now. This might just be a full cap win on the second half.
I think we're getting the cap here. They're not anywhere close to any of these points right now.
BACU has them pushed all the way up onto spawn right now. They can't even deal with this. There it goes. Hold on. I think my audio might have cut out on TeamSpeak. So what happened? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's fix this. There we go. Okay, so you should be able to hear me now on stream. I'm just gonna relog back into TeamSpeak, and it'll be a little bit faster than having to deal with the TeamSpeak settings and all that. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the scoreboard for just a second as well. So what happens here sometimes is the that little sound you heard at the end messes up my audio for some reason, and it just kind of like what's the term? It just kind of breaks everything, really. So give me one moment here while I log back into the TeamSpeak here. We can get our casting done. There we go. You should be able to hear me now, right? There we are. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. So we've got the stats here. Obviously, BACU with the win. It was a beautiful, beautiful job there too. The biggest thing there was just unrelenting force onto all points as well, but just unrelenting at all times. I'd say that was probably the main thing that really put them in the lead for this one. Wouldn't you say?
Really even. Second half, really just dominant from BACU. You could see they really benefited from that aggressive play onto all the points because it really shows up in the kill feed, just in how aggressive they were and pushing and getting those kills and taking all control of all those points.
Yeah. So taking a look at the scoreboard here, I know we just got our interviewees. I do apologize. I had to fix some audio issues as soon as the end of the match happened. Let me just quickly go over. We've got a top frag of the game from. It's actually a tie. Actually, I take it back. Never mind. Silkosh top frag of the game. I was looking at the 40s, but actually we have both Silkosh and Asum at above that. Silkosh, 57 kills. He was playing incredibly well. Multiple times we saw him get really good and important picks, especially on the first half. And then on the second half, we just saw just nutty shots so many times and streaks of them too. Asum also 46 kills. Very, very good harassment there by Asum. Really, really very important. What he did mostly, it felt like anyway, he played around the D point on the second half and very much kind of kept things at bay there. So really, really good job by him. The rest of the BACU heavies also doing pretty good there. And then on the HBG side, obviously, Osprey doing pretty well, 40. Luxus as well, 39. We saw both of them playing very, very well. Mid played around the B point, I believe it was second half, getting a lot of important picks as well. So very good job here by both sides. But of course, BACU's unrelenting, just pushing and pushing, just really, it makes it hard. Makes it hard. No matter how your kill power is, it's just very difficult to deal with something like that. So we've got our captains here. We have both Halot and Osprey. Osprey here for the HBG side. Halot here for the. I'm sorry. Actually, Halot and Dubness as well. I'm sorry, I didn't even see Dubness there. Halot and Dubness as well for the BACU side. So first of all, congratulations, Dubness and Halot, for the win. Very, very good job. Really incredible show as well. And I feel like we should probably start off with just Silkosh. He seems like he was a bit of a linchpin for this one. I mean, this is long sightlines, right? It kind of makes sense that you'd want to bring a good bolter, but were you expecting a performance like that out of him?
100%. Yeah. No. Silkosh is someone who, if you demand a high quality performance, 9 out of 10 times, at least in my opinion, he will give it to you, right? And yeah, I was very happy with how he performed, and also Asum actually on the LA, because at the start of the season I don't like using LAs on Watersons. I think it's kind of a bit weird, but yeah, Asum made it work, and we had a few people who brought it back after a pretty slow performance in the first half. So yeah, just overall very happy.
Yeah, and it was I mean, those two, Silkosh definitely, but both of those players were it seemed like just so important to a lot of the stalling of HBG, kind of trying to make a headway. But every now and again, we did see HBG actually make some headway in and actually get some points back. Osprey, what exactly was the factor there to try and get your team to and it seemed like it worked every now and again to really get back on those points and figure out which point to put them on as well, while BACU was just kind of roaming around.
Well, I mean, we all know that in South you play C, North you play D, like NA, like stuff like that, and that was the plan all along, and that's what worked. I took the critics from the try game and stuff. We played way more group this time, and I think we played better today than we did against try 2 days ago. I'm sad I didn't play like that last time, but I don't know. Overall, yeah, it was more about like we need to clean our spawn, then move around. And the thing is, I always ended up with a small group moving around, like having a weird flank. And I told them, all right, if you're not in the deep fight right now, I want you to flip those bases because we are losing on timer because they are just blocking us on D right now, especially on the second round. And like it worked out a bit. The thing is, on equal numbers, I always ended up losing my group there because like Silkosh would hit crazy shots or Dubnus would show up and blast them, and yeah, it was a bit hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was kind of, it seemed like the strategy for the BACU guys. Can you confirm that at all? Was it just the overwhelming sort of just constant pushing going into this match that you wanted to sort of emphasize, Dubnus?
Yeah, I just wanted to pressure the hell out of them, right? On the Pale Canyon map, I knew that if we could just disrupt them, throw them off their balance, right? That we could just lock them out like we did on Pale. Obviously, it's more difficult doing Watersons, right?
Mhm.
Because of the 4 points. But what it does mean is it's easier to break up their group, right? So quite often we had people just alone, right? And it's risky because if you don't succeed in breaking the group, then you're put on the back foot, as happened a couple times in the first half. And there were certainly some mistakes in that first half, but it definitely for the second half, right, where you once you force them back to just D point, well, either they take that exposed route to the money shot building or the C point, and then they have to go from D to A, right, either up or like above on the catwalks or below, and there's so many ways you can just shoot them as they're doing that. And that's probably why in the second half that worked better, just trying to throw them off balance.
The thing with second half is, on my head, and I thought people understood that, I wanted to have like at least a trial with the bolt going for your northern spawn and blocking that while we deal with D, which is the way to clear that. The thing is, it never happened. The people started like it's around when people start like they hear you but they don't hear you, and like, or then like no one shows up and tells, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then people expect some people are doing it, so they don't do it themselves and stuff like that, and it's super messy because the only way to clear this D pressure for me is to go and block the spawn, like your north spawn, which I did once. The thing is, I had to turn because I also had your guys on D pushing me at some point, so I couldn't block the respawns anymore, and like it's a pretty fresh team, and the thing is, when I do a call, I'm like, the thing is, I'm proactive personally. Like I never stop for 10 seconds and don't know what to do. I just run towards what's happening. A lot of people don't do that yet in my group, and it's coming now, but it's still a bit sloppy. So when I would call, okay, we spawn south bus, we go and flank them and we re-clear D, like it would take the next wave of respawn for that to happen because people already clicked on the north bus or did something else, and yeah, bit messy. That's why we struggle too much on that deep pressure. It's doable to clear it. The thing is, we were messy.
Maybe a little, I would say, but I will say that we've seen some pretty good stuff from the HBG team, and as you both know, this was the last match of the orange bracket or pink bracket. What did we decide on? Was it maize bracket? I believe it was.
The lavender
Biggest
bracket.
Lavender bracket. Thank you. That was the one.
Hey, a perfect 6-0 for BACU there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier with that record.
I blocked you one full cap. You didn't full cap the first round.
and though I have to say though, think about BACU perfect 6-0. You guys were 3 seconds away against Try when you guys played.
Oh yeah.
South. It was like 3 seconds away, and just think about how different the tournament could have been. And you guys pulled it through, and you won that third round, and now you guys won here, perfect 6-0. So really
Perfect
well
score.
done. Yeah, not without some drama, but well done.
Yeah.
You got to grind out the wins sometimes.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And against Chai and Raphael, that's exactly what you have to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, no, thank you. Actually, thank you to both Osprey and Dubness for making your teams, coming out and playing on this tourney. And again, this was the last one for the lavender bracket. Thank you, Goof.
It's actually it's the teal bracket.
Teal bracket. To all of the team captains for the teal bracket, you guys all did great, and we hope to see you in whatever other tournament comes up in the near future, I'm sure. So we're going to go ahead and end it there, but one more time, congratulations to BACU on your undefeated teal bracket win.
It was actually the yellow bracket.
Yellow bracket win. Thank you, thank you. The yellow bracket win. Your undefeated score there. Very, very good job. And we hope to see everybody again in whatever comes next. Bye, bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
GG, thanks everyone.
Bye.